Hey guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're gonna be talking about Canopy's big constellation deal. And it got me really excited, and I bought a bunch of shares. You guys will see how many shares I bought later in the video. I want you guys to watch the video and not just find where the shares are. So I'm gonna put it somewhere within the video. So you guys are gonna have to kind of watch it in order to figure it out. Anyways, I'm going to begin with something interesting. Opening video on BNN for Bruce Linton. Very interesting video.
Federally regulated program, so we want to, be at the front of all of that.
It does feel like an arms race of sorts, and I wonder for the alcohol companies that have been looking at this area, is that part of the reasoning why Constellation would more aggressively make this announcement with you guys today? We just saw Molson Coors with their hydropothecary deal. I mean, it feels like decisions have to be made, and made quickly right now.
Yeah, and our decisions are things that we've developed over a couple of years together, so it probably feels more quickly to you than it does to us. But we are a massive disruptor, and when you talk about competition, it's not going to be the little names that are running around in the marijuana trade in Canada. The competition that's going to happen as this plays out and becomes federally legal and real are going to be big alcohol and big pharma, because we disrupt their worlds. And when it's the fast growth space, what I want to make sure is that we are partnered up and going fast early, because there's going to be a lot of capable parties come in, and if we have a whole lot of intellectual property and a first mover advantage that's best mover advantage, yeah, I like it.
So it starts as a 10%.
So you guys heard that, right? When it gets very legal, there's gonna be big pharma, big tobacco, because cannabis disrupts the industries. Which, I mean, is true, because like people smoke cigarettes, right? Now they can smoke joints, or they can go use cannabis for medical purposes, so that kind of destroys pharma. And yeah, so next year is going to be a very interesting year in my opinion. Yeah. Anyways, let's continue the video.
Investment by Constellation. Now we're up to roughly 38% here. Maybe it gets even closer to 50%. Will there be a day when Constellation buys all of Canopy?
Well, I guess that's the bet, right? So, they basically just paid a little more than $5 billion for a little less than 25% more of the company, which is, notice how I got billion correct there that time. What they have is a warrant that could get them to about 50% at a premium to the price they're paying for this. So call it another $5 billion. And then I suspect if the company's doing what the company should be by then, which is generating really diversified, substantial EBITDA, if I were them, you don't want to consolidate up losses, but you probably would really love to have the ownership of a fast growth, high margin business, particularly if it's disruptive to your underlying business, because now you have the second act. Yeah. And so I guess the investors and I are going to have to bet on, can we generate a global business? Do people want cannabis? Can we convert it into medical and other types of products? And can we do it better than anyone else? And so far it feels like that's not a bad bet.
Well, I think people looked at that medical aspect of
like you guys heard that, it's still a speculation. So if Canopy can't take that $5 billion in cash plus another $4 billion that they have from Constellation brand and built a dominant global company out of that money, then that's the bet that you're willing to take. You're taking a bet against literally $9 billion in cash. So yeah.
Today and found it curious. Not that Canopy looks at the retail market and also a recreational market, and looks at the medical market, but that a company like Constellation would have interest in the medical market.
Yeah, it's one of these things where the marijuana plant does not know if it's medical or rec. It knows it's marijuana plant. And what you do is you take that plant, you extract the active ingredients, and you turn them into isolated ingredients, and then you reconstitute them. And if you're doing a medical trial, you run them through a procedure that you hope results in a claim and protection because of the combination of the delivery mechanism. Those same ingredients can be reconstituted into a beverage that in a medical environment, maybe you're trying to deal with someone with anxiety or depression, and maybe in a beverage market, you're trying to make Friday night cheerful and a bit uplifting. So you can sort of see where these platforms really divided the process of creating the product and confirming its result and how you package it, but there's a lot of commonality below that line.
So, we've talked about the investors who are believers in the cannabis business, those who are skeptics. You told us, to your point, you were panhandling, so to speak, to raise interest a few years ago. Now the story has changed. On your conference call today, looked like representatives from Wells Fargo and JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley were asking questions for a company that just saw its losses balloon to roughly $91 million in the most recent quarter. What message do you think that's sending?
Well, so on the losses, about 60 plus million of that is that funky accounting stuff where you might have a call option on something. So really not part of the operating business. So we've built up a sales force for all of Canada. We have every province and territory that's announced has selected us. And that means we have about 67,000 kilograms of product that's demanded at a minimum for the next 12 months, and Ontario hasn't announced. So what they see is that a good company is recognized by a whole bunch of provinces and authorities as being such. And that now that we've got our sleep trials going, the first animal trials in Canada, this is the company that people look at and say, okay, well, I might own 4 cannabis stocks or 3, but for sure half my money's going in Canopy. And the other ones are kind of like funny little side bets and hope they work out.
You remain one of the largest shareholders in this business. Last time I asked you if you're buying anything these days, Bruce, you're still driving your used car. You gonna go out and buy a new one?
I don't think I need anything, man. I got this suit at Winners. It looks okay on TV.
You did say that.
It's true.
You did say that when it comes to shopping, you're not going to be looking for anybody here in Canada, which is quite a clear message that you're sending. How do you feel about your prospects against the other players here in Canada now?
Yeah, we have, from day one, I never bothered having a rear view mirror to look back at what others were doing. And so I think there's a couple of decent actors here. They'll progress through. But the problem that people are going to have if they invest in this space is there's far, far more companies than there are businesses. And what I specifically mean by that is you need to show up and work every day. And you got to create things, and you got to have a scale, and you got to have an intent to create a great business. I think there's a lot of people who like the idea of a great story, and maybe they get rich. So there's going to be 2 or 3 companies that are decent out of the whole pack, and then the rest, there won't be consolidation. There's going to be disintegration. And that's a lot more painful.
We only have about 30 seconds left. Could there be a day when this company that you started here in Canada is not headquartered in Canada?
I hope not, but when you start a company, you try to make it great, and Smiths Falls is the headquarters. Sure hope Mr. Ford lets us have a amenity in what used to be the chocolate factory, so you'll come back in the next couple of weeks when tours start and visit us. But right now it looks like game on. The next several years we stand to push independently, and that means Smiths Falls headquarters.
Bruce, always good to get your take. Thanks so much for your time.
Bruce Linton was saying earlier that there's going to be a few companies, and then the rest of those like smaller companies are probably going to end up disintegrating. Maybe, but Canopy is definitely going to be a big winner. So this is Canopy's crazy deal. They gained $5 billion. And now Constellation Brands owns 38%. They basically paid another 25% for $5 billion. So that's incredible deal for Canopy. $5 billion is a lot of money. This is cash, by the way. So they're getting $5 billion in cash. Yeah, that's a lot of money, and they're getting it at a premium too. $48.60 per share. So that's a 38%. No, wait. 37.9% premium over the 5-day volume weight average. That's incredible. So I can totally see the stock at least going to $48, but I'm gonna point out later where I think the stock deserves to be. And then they have an additional $4.5 billion in cash. So Canopy has a lot of money. A lot of money. So the market's not close yet. I'm making this video at 125. Aurora is at $6.40. And Canopy is at $42.31. So $42 anyways. So I'm gonna address why Aurora went up with Canopy is because Aurora is the second biggest player. They are considered just like behind Canopy, but since Canopy got that $5 billion cash, Canopy just blew them out of the water. But it shows that like Constellation brand is really serious about this cannabis industry, and since Aurora is like the second biggest player, Aurora stock kind of got rewarded too. And shorters are probably kicking themselves right now because they're like, they're hoping that the stock price goes down, but I don't think so. I think this could be the start of the run that we had last Christmas. I think we're gonna be seeing some very exciting days coming up very soon. And the people that shorters that haven't covered yet, oh boy. You should cover soon, I think, because this stock's not going to stay at 640 for very long. Tomorrow's going to go probably another 5 to 10%. At least it's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. Don't buy it, because the consensus still kind of under speculation. So, okay, I guess I'll review how many shares I have now. So, I bought a total of like you can see right here, right? It's okay. So I bought it all over the place. Like early in the morning, I woke up and then I was like, oh, I think I should buy. Like my gut feeling told me that I needed to buy some Canopy shares before it's too late. And then I bought some, and then I was thinking, and I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna buy more. So I end up selling some shares of Namaste and other stocks. I still have some Namaste and other stocks, and I bought more Canopy. And yeah, now I have this many shares. I'll do the calculations in front of you. 900, oops, plus 500, plus 500, plus 600, plus 1,000, plus 1. I shouldn't say that out loud. 250. 1600, 6,550 shares at a price of $42. That's $275,000, but my price average is probably like $260. So yeah, you guys can do the math yourself. I just cut out all the buys that I did today. Yeah. Okay, so let me tell you why I think Canopy is undervalued. They have a $9 billion, like $9.2 billion market cap. If you look at the financials, which I have loaded up here, right? They already have $2 billion in asset. Yes, they have $800 million in liabilities, but this $600 million in liabilities right here is convertible debentures, so it can get converted into shares down the road, which will probably happen most likely. But yeah, once this gets converted into shares, this will increase the liabilities will definitely decrease, and the asset just increased to $7 billion because they got $5 billion in cash. So for a company that has a $7 billion asset and has a $9 billion market cap, it's extremely undervalued. I say Canopy, it deserves at least like an $18 billion market cap. So I can see the stock doubling to $80 in probably in like the next couple months, 3 or 4 months. So in Christmas time, and what Aurora is not just gonna sit there and do nothing. They'll probably have plans, and they're probably talking to people and probably finding ways to raise more money. Because Aurora is going to be one of the big players too, regardless, because they acquired Metro Leaf. They can produce really high quality products. They have a lot of good things going for the company. But Canopy, you just $5 billion is a lot of money. And then on top of that, Constellation brand has an option to own 50% of Canopy. So then they can, if they're partners with Canopy and they own Canopy, they can use Canopy product and distribute it in America, because then they can make cannabis drinks, and then they can distribute that cannabis drinks in North America. So having Constellation as a partner basically guarantees Canopy as a big player in the United States. At least this is how I see it. You guys can see it differently, but this is how I see it. Canopy will stay the #1 company. I hate to admit it. I always rooting for Aurora, but this Constellation deal is just blows Aurora out of the water. Unless Aurora finds a way to do some kind of awesome deal, the same as similar to Canopy, Canopy will remain the #1 company, unfortunately. And I plan to hold my stock long term. I see the stock easily being $120 within a few years, or more, $200. But I'm planning to hold this long term, and right now I see this $42. I still see a discount. I'm saying that every day it's probably going to pop up 5 to 10%. But you know, in the scenario that it doesn't, in the scenario that it drops down to $35, I'm definitely buying more. Because at that price, it's like a steal, basically, like literally a steal. So Constellation brand went down 6% today. Oh, it went down 8% on this deal, and then I guess it kind of recovered. But the one thing I want to point out is their balance sheet. If you look at their balance sheet, they only have $210 million of cash. Net receivables, so they have another 800 million here. So like, where are they finding this $5 billion of cash to buy to purchase Canopy? Are they selling their stock price, raising the money through their stock to buy Canopy? Because I think that's what they're doing. Like, I don't know how they're gonna get the cash to give Canopy $5 billion in cash. Like, I don't, like, the kind of mind boggles me a little bit. But that's what my assumption is. They're selling stock or something, or they're using their stock value to raise $5 billion to buy Canopy. At least this is my opinion. Okay, so in this process, right, the company said 6,576 kilograms in process of finish or waiting for approval for sales. So that means that they are this 6,576 kilograms will be held for sale to like provinces when October legalization comes. So when I was saying that, you know, Aurora would be kind of undersupply even with Sky Online at 5,900, sorry, not 5,000, yeah, 5,900 kilograms, because they need to supply at least 6,250 kilograms. So, but with Odens coming online and all that, I think it'll work out. And they have like supplies stored up. Like Canopy has, let's see, $118 million in inventory as of June 30th, 2018. So, because so basically Canopy and not Canopy, Aurora and Metroleaf combined has around 60 million-ish for inventory. So they still have a good decent amount of supply, and they're still collecting supply as legalization rolls around. So I think Aurora and Metroleaf will be fine. The one thing I kind of dislike about Canopy's core report, even though, you know, they have the Constellation deal, is they lost a lot of money, but, you know, because they're constantly expanding and using money to grow the company, they're always taking a loss. But, you know, that's what you take a loss at the beginning. Plus they got $6 billion from Constellation brand, so they could take losses all they want, as long as they can grow the company's revenue and profit margins, because this margin is pretty horrible. I did the math on this. If you take this number and you divide it by this number, you get about 44%. But then again, you know, Canopy has a bunch of different greenhouses all over the place, so they have to hire there, and it's probably not as efficient as Metroleaf and Aurora, because they were built and dedicated for low cost, high quality cannabis. So Aurora has some advantages, but $5 billion in cash, that's so much money. It's just so much money. I can't get over it. If I listen to this Canopy's investor relations, I'm gonna make another video later in the future highlighting some cool points that came out of the conference call. So look forward to that. I would recommend you guys checking it out. It's a pretty good video. I would definitely watch. I mean, I would definitely, like, if you were a serious investor in Canopy, you better watch this. I guess that's it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, please give me a thumbs down. Subscribe for future updates, and have a great day. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm also probably gonna be changing up my Aurora and Namaste fan club to Aurora and Canopy fan club. I'm sorry to say, you guys. Yeah. Anyways, see you guys later, and have a great day. Bye.